Krishna Prabhu and Mataji. So you are able to see my screen and hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet. Nashtaprayesu Abhadresu Nityam Bhagavato Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistike. Today we'll be reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8, verse number 16. The chapter title is Attaining the Supreme. Abrahma bhavanani lokaha punaravartina arjuna mamupetyatu tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Abrahma bhavanani lokaha punaravartina arjuna mamupetyatu tu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Word by word meaning. Abrahma bhavanat, up to the Brahmaloka planet, Lokaha, the planetary systems, Punaha, again, Avartinaha, returning, Arjuna, O Arjuna, Mam, unto me, Upetya, arriving, Tu, but, Konteya, O son of Kunti, Punaha Janma, rebirth, Na, never, Vidyate, takes place. Translation. From the highest planet in the material world down to the lowest, all are places of misery, wherein repeated birth and death takes place. But one who attains to my abode, O son of Kunti, never takes birth again. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. All kinds of yogis, karma, jnana, hatha, etc., eventually have to attain devotional perfection in bhakti yoga or Krishna consciousness before they can go to Krishna's transcendental abode and never return. Those who attain the highest material planets, the planets of the demigods, are again subjected to repeated birth and death. As persons on earth are elevated to higher planets, people on our higher planets, such as Brahmaloka, Chandraloka, and Indraloka, fall down to earth. The practice of sacrifice called Panchagni Vidya, recommended in Chandogya Upanishad, enables one to achieve Brahmaloka. But if on Brahmaloka one does not cultivate Krishna consciousness, then he must return to earth. Those who progress in Krishna consciousness on the higher planets are gradually elevated to higher and higher planets, and at the time of universal devastation are transferred to the eternal spiritual kingdom. Baladev Vidyabhushan, in his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, quotes this verse: Brahmana sahate sarve samprapte pratisanchare prasayante krita manaha pravishyanti parampadam. When there is a devastation of this material universe, Brahma and his devotees, who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness, are all transferred to the spiritual universe and to specific spiritual planets according to their desires. His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकय चक्षुर्मृतं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपं कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरु वैष्णवंश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पादन सहगण ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितं च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। नीलाचल निवासाय नित्याय परमात्मने बलभद्रा सुभद्राभं जगन्नाथाय ते नमः। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you for joining today the Bhagavad Gita class. Now we are celebrating Bhishma Panchak, very auspicious. All these 5 days are very, very important in a devotee's life. And any austerity we do, we get million times of benefit during this time. So I am really fortunate to get all of your associations, though I am not qualified to discuss the subject matter, but with all of your mercy, I will try to do some endeavor for my own purification. I might commit some offenses, might not utter with proper consciousness the proper words. So I'm asking your forgiveness and blessing simultaneously in the beginning itself. So with this, let's start. Here, this is a really powerful verse. In the previous verse, we saw in 8 or 15, like yesterday we discussed, that Krishna is saying that after attaining the yogis or the Mahatma, after attaining him, he is never coming back to this temporary world, which is full of miseries. The sevenfold miseries are filled in this material world. They are kind of Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, they are the 4. Then there are other 3 miseries are there. They are like, there are 3 klesas are there. They are like Adhibhautik klesa, then there is Adhidevi klesa, then there is Adhyatmik klesa. So within Adhibhautik, they happen due to the living entities, like the small from the mosquitoes, like malaria happens, from the rats, the plague happens. With this, lot of a lot of devotees, a lot of persons, they leave their body. So this is one kind of misery. Then another kind of misery is by Adhidevi, earthquake. Then there is flood. So many anarthas happen. So there are so many destruction of the building. So many people they get killed. So because of this klesa. Then another is adhyatmic klesa. This is happen due to your own this is by our body and mind. We think so much. We get into stress. We have our own blood pressure and we have our own anarthas. We create the anarthas for ourselves. So many miseries are there. So basically, Krishna in the previous verse has told that one who attains me, the perfect yogi who attains him, he doesn't come back to this temporary world of misery. Now here in this particular verse, then Krishna is basically what Krishna is saying. He is saying this material world is temporary world, and there is an eternal spiritual world. And here Krishna is displaying a contrast between 2 different paths, how to attain him. Basically, there is a destination that one gets his eternal abode by worshipping him. So the destination is that you worship Krishna, then you get his abode. And if you don't worship him, you go to different planetary systems. So for that, what we should do? We should fix our mind on Krishna. So we should fix our mind in Krishna, so that the end result will be wonderful. It will be favorable to us. And if we do not fix our mind on him, then we have to stay in this miserable world again and again and again. And still, but we'll be getting a chance to rectify ourselves, to come back to Krishna's eternal abode. So here, Krishna is, let's go by this verse a little bit in deeper. Krishna is saying here, A Brahma Bhuvanat Lokaha. That means from topmost planetary system to the lowermost planetary system. The topmost can be the Brahma Loka and the lowermost can be the Patal Loka. Then he is saying, Punar Avartino. One will come back again. Punar means again, Avartino means come back. Ma Mupetyatu Konteya. Then he is saying that then how one should not come back? If one worships me. Punar Janma na Vidyate. Then never takes birth again. Basically, Krishna himself is saying here, if one worships me, he will never take birth again in this material world. Basically, he is permanently coming to my eternal abode. And one who is not doing it, basically he will be repeating within these 14 planetary systems. Now, then the question might come here that is Brahmaloka eternal? If it is eternal, then how it is? Basically, if we see, you can see that Brahmaloka basically is not eternal. It is basically temporary. Why it is temporary? Because the abode of the Brahma is within this material world. As the lifespan of the universe is same as the lifespan of the Brahma. So when Brahmaji leaves his body, that times his abode also vanishes and the universe is also destroyed. So Srila Prabhupada mentions that by Panchagni, one can attain Brahmaloka. But because Brahmaloka is also within this material world and is temporary, even if you attend the Brahmaloka, you cannot stay there permanently. You have to definitely come back. So if we want to do another devotion, we can attend Krishna's astral abode and you will never return. That is a permanent solution. Otherwise, we can get some good result, like we can get a higher score from our current duties. You can get a better score, but that duty is not same as bhakti. So doing good duty, what we can do, we can elevate ourselves. We can go to Indraloko, we can go to like Chandraloko, we can go to Brahmaloko. But everything here is temporary. All these lokas will be during the material annihilation time. Everything will be destroyed. Again, you will come back to your first position, and again you are going to start it. Now here, Balabhadra Vidyabhushan, he is passing in a commentary. He is passing the commentary here. Let's see the commentary. He is saying here, Brahmana sahate sarve samprapte pratishanare prasayante kirtamanaha prabhishyanti parampadam. Basically, he is saying in a different way. So what he is saying, the Brahmana sahate sarve, Brahmaji along with his associates, samprapte pratisanchare, those who are engaged, prasayante kirtamanaha, what are they doing? Always in the service of the absolute truth, which is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhishyanti parampadam, they attain the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is basically the ultimate destination. Here they are saying that when Brahma and his associates are engaged with the pure devotional service of the of absolute truth, they will attain the supreme abode, which is the ultimate destination. So now the question happens, if Brahmaji is a pure devotee and his associates are pure enough, do they come back to the spiritual world? But at the time of the destruction, so we can say that they can continue whatever devotional service they are doing at the Brahmaloka. But at the destruction of the universe, they can continue coming back to the spiritual world only if they are doing the Suddha Bhakti. But this might not be necessary also. Now let's little bit go into the background, how Brahma created this entire universe. Like if we see here the picture here, beautiful picture here on the left hand side, like from the Garbhodaksha ocean, like Garbhodaksha Vishnu is lying down, from his navel a lotus is there, and the lotus Brahmaji is sitting, and Brahmaji is meditating on Supreme Personality Godhead, and is requesting him by beautiful prayers to help him in creating the planetary system. So Brahma then what the Brahma did? Brahma created three different worlds. Basically, he created three different planet systems. He created the lower planet system, that is called the Patal Lokas. Then they created the middle planets where we are existing, that is called as Bhuloka. Then there are upper planets, that is called as Swaralokas. Then he subdivided these three worlds into the 14 planetary divisions. So what are these? Basically, if you see here the rightmost picture, the seventh one is the Bhuloka, where actually we are sitting now. At this moment, we are sitting. By doing so, we might have done so many good activities or something. That's why basically we are taken birth as a human form, which is the best form between the 84 million species. So we are in this Bhuloka now. So there are 7 lokas down. What are the 7 lokas down? They start with the number 14. This is Patala Loko, Rasatala Loko, Mahatala Loko, Taratala Loko, then Suttala Loko, then Pittala Loko, then Attala Loko. Then comes our planet Bhuloka. Then again there are more on top of them. They are basically Bhuvan Loko, Swara Loko, Mahaloko, Jana Loko, Tapo Loko, and Satya Loko. If we see here, the Satya Loko is the abode of Lord Brahma. Now we can see here that due to our different activities in our past life, we get different destinations. So now Brahmaji meditated on his creation and paid obeisances unto the Garbhodaksha Vishnu. Then he created all these 14 different lokas and the 3 different worlds. Now each conditioned soul can travel through these 14 planetary systems based on the past karma. Suppose we are basically when we are writing an exam, and passing from one school to another another college based on our grade, based on our high school grade, or any SAT score or some SAT score or our GRE or GMAT score, we get a better college. If our scores are high, we go to a good college. If our scores are not high, or if scores are pretty high, we go to an Ivy League school or somewhere. And not scores are not good, we go to a different school. Basically, the same way the karma cycle also goes on. So depending on our past karma, we get a different species or different life, or different. We move, basically we move to a different planetary system. Then how it actually works? Now in Bhagavad Gita 8.6, Krishna says, "Yam yam yapi smaram bhavam tajyati ante kalevaram tam tam evaiti konteya sada tad bhava bhavitaha." What does that mean? Krishna is saying here, whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without any fail. Now, basically Krishna is saying here, when we are quitting his body, whatever you are remembering and what level of consciousness you are leaving your body, basically that will matter, that will actually decide your next lifespan. Now we can think that yeah, this is very easy. While at the end of whenever our living body, they will definitely try to remember Krishna. But if we see that is not practical also. If you are not practicing from the beginning, that is not practical. That is not possible in fact. We can see from the example Maharaj Bharat. Maharaj Bharat was such a elevated soul. He was very learned. He was a king. He was a saintly person. But he has a little bit attraction to the deer. And while he was leaving his body, he was meditating on the deer. So in the next birth, he took birth as a deer. Again, but Maharaj in this case, Krishna was very, very merciful, and Maharaj Bharat was a very elevated devotee. So in the deer form also he still remembered. And again, we know that how he took the form of Jada Bharat, and how again that's a different story. Let's not go into detail. So basically just to say here that while quitting our body, it's not that easy to remember Krishna. For that, we all have to do practice. Now, one must say that what is wrong in attending a different planet? Basically, we can enjoy our life in this planet, and we can get it. We can again come back, and we can or we can go to a different planet, and that's fine. Somebody might say that. So why to do so much austerities, and why to do so much work to attend Krishna, to attend like association of Krishna, and go to his transcendental abode, which is eternal? So basically, we can think that this material world can be compared to either a jail or a hospital. This material world in the previous verse in the 8.15, Krishna has described it as dukkhalayam aswasatam. This material world is kind of dukkhalayam, like we say vidyalaya, and basically it's or devalaya. Basically, it's a alaya means home. Basically, it's a residence of education or a residence of the deities. Like dukkhalayam, this material world is dukkhalayam. That means this material world is a house of all kind of miseries, all kind of dukkhas, all kind of anarthas, and it will be always there like that. So in some cases, this material world can be compared as a jail, otherwise it's kind of a hospital. So if we do something wrong, we go to a jail for our correction, for our rectification. And same thing also, if we do something wrong, if we eat something wrong, or if we if we smoke, so many things we do, so we go to hospital. It's not necessarily that that we do something wrong, we'll go to hospital, but there are so many other things are there, like the mosquito bite we discussed earlier. So even if the cancer, which doesn't have any much cure now these days, so we end up in the hospital. So basically, no one happily goes to a hospital or a jail. Nobody is willing to go to these two places. And when we are inside a hospital or we are inside a jail, we try our best how to come out of it. When we are in a jail, we try to do so many services we try to do in the jail. We try to have a good term with the jailer, and we request that we need a mentor. We do good services. We try to do so many good work, so that the jailer will recommend to come back. Unless you are a hardcore criminal, and your habit is not changed, you will keep on coming it again. But a common man in a common scenario will definitely attempt how not to go back to this jail again. He will rectify himself that how he won't go back to the jail again, because it's not a pleasant place to stay. Similarly, in the hospital, when we go, like in this particular picture, we see the person, his leg is injured and he's having a traction, and the nurse is treating him. So lifting the leg like this is not pleasant experience. And sometimes when in hospital, there are so many diet restrictions are there. You'll be having injection, blood transfusion, so many surgeries. So when you are staying there, you don't enjoy. You are not happy over there. You will be always thinking, oh God, how I will come out of it. So whatever the nurse is saying you, whatever the doctor is saying you will try to follow it, so that how easily you will come out of it and you are not going to enter there again. So similarly, this material world also is not a good place. As we say, the dukkhalaya asasotam. Similarly, this material world also, in that mood, we can compare that there are so many miseries in this material world. So many, as the yugas are changing, like Satya Yuga and then Dwapar Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and now Kali Yuga. These anarthas are increasing more and more. So nobody wants no in a healthy mind, if we think that there are so many difficulties and we should definitely not want to come here again. So so basically you can imagine that if when we are studying and there is an exam is there, if you don't do good in the exam, you actually basically you fail in the exam and you come back and you again study and you have to pass it. So without that, you don't have a choice. So when you come back, you don't like to study it again to do it. So basically what you do, in the beginning itself, you try to do well and study well so that you can pass out in the exam in a good number. So similarly, in this material world, when we are here, we should try our best how to get out of this material world to attend Krishna's association and by entering into the transcendental level. So that should be our attempt. How we should do that? That is only possible by Suddha Bhakti. Now, here, we discussed initially, we have Krishna has told there are two different paths, that by either by doing Suddha Bhakti, by remembering about him and by talking about him, discussing about him, by praying him, we can come to Krishna's abode. And other way is we don't worship him, and basically we move through these 14 planetary systems, and there are chances, even if we go to a higher planet like Brahma Loko you go or Swarga Loko we go, we come back. Like when somebody in India, they passes by, they say, yeah, we say he went to Swarga Lok. Generally we say our forefathers we went to Swarga Lok. Now after joining Krishna consciousness, if we see this planetary system, the planetary system, we see that Swarga Loka is basically just one level up of the Bhuga Loka. So now after joining Krishna consciousness, now we can see that our desire is not to go to Swarga Loka, neither it is desire to go to Brahma Loka. Basically our desire is to be always eternal servant of Krishna, and wherever Krishna's abode is, we should go there and serve Krishna. And how to serve Krishna? Not in a temporary form, as an eternal form. So now next question comes here. So doesn't Brahmaji and his associates practice Krishna consciousness or pure devotion towards Krishna? Are they not devotees? Yes, definitely they are devotees. But if we see that Brahma also is a very top class devotee, he is always meditating on Krishna. Then Indra also is a very good devotee. He is also meditating on Krishna. There are so many, Sun God or Varunji, all the demigods are there. They are all meditating on Krishna. They are also bhakta. They are also good devotees. But if we see the Brahmaloka residents or the heavenly planet residents, if we see, that basically is not a place of bhakti. Why that is not a place of bhakti? Basically, this is a place of punya. So basically, punya and bhakti, they are not the same. Those who do punya, they attain swarga. Basically, punya means what? They do some good work, some austerities they do. So basically, they get the result. What is the result? They attain swarga. So in swarga also they do yajna. We see that Indra, like he is also doing so many yajnas to maintain his position. And by doing that, what they do? They lead a righteous life. So by the righteous living, they get all kinds of these benefits what they're supposed to get, which is in their heavenly residence. But righteous living is not bhakti. We see that in the Indralok, the residents of Indralok, they are watching so many apsaras dancing. They're enjoying nice fruits. They are sitting in a nice simhasan. They are having so many nice discussions going on. They are drinking somaras. So with this kind of facilities, we cannot do bhakti yoga. Basically, these kind of things are basically bhoga. So bhakti and bhoga, they are two different things. When there is bhoga is there, when your bhoga is there, you cannot do bhakti. But whatever bhoga they are doing in Indraloka or Brahmaloka, that is not sinful. Why? Because he has earned that punya. And because of that punya, he is attaining those things in the heaven. So residents of the heaven cannot perform anhala devotion. Why they cannot do anhala devotion? Because there are so many enjoyment facilities are there. Now you can imagine that when the Sunday feast lecture is going on and some Maharaj is giving class, all of us when we were in when now we have two different halls, but earlier we were having a rented hall. The kitchen was near to it, and we'll be having Sunday class adjacent to it. So what will happen? All of a sudden, when around 7:30 the class will be coming to an end, all of a sudden nice aroma of the prasadam will come. So that time it will be very difficult to sit in a class because all the nice fragrance will be coming. So our focus will be on the prasadam. So we see often, like around when 7:30 happens and the class is coming to an end, still there is an announcement will be there. But what happens that time? Everybody will immediately run. Why they will run? Because 7:30 the other time the prasadam is getting served. So when there is a little bit chances of enjoyment or bhoga, bhakti is very, very difficult. So you can imagine early morning you are chanting and you have to chant 16 rounds, and you are in the peak of chanting around 8 rounds. All of a sudden a nice plate of prasadam is kept in front of you, and the condition is, you are chanting, but you have to open your eyes, and the nice prasadam is in front of you. And in the prasadam plate, you will have nice samosas, you have gulab jamuns, and nice srikhand, and so many, and paneer butter masala, pulao, biryani, so many nice prasadams are there, and it's very hot and delicious, and you are seeing that as if the gulab jamuns are calling you. You are trying to concentrate on chanting. Your eyes are on the beats, but you will see that eyes are automatically going to the prasadam. You will want to chant, but your mind is telling that when my chanting is going to end, so that I can jump into this prasadam. I want to enjoy this prasadam instead of I want to release my chanting. I can do it later. Let me first finish this beautiful prasad, because the prasad is calling me. And that time you will have so many excuses. Yes, prasadam is also equal to Krishna. You will give excuses and you will jump into that. So that happens. The same thing happens in the higher planetary system. There are so many enjoyments, so many facilities are there. It is very difficult to do bhakti over there. But still, when along with those so many facilities in the Brahmaloka or in the heavenly planets, as Balabhadra Vidyabhushan saying, when the residents of Brahmaloka or the Indraloka, wherever are there, they are doing Suddha Bhakti, there is a chance that they are also coming, they can also come to Krishna's eternal abode. Now, I will just want to conclude now. Basically, what will happen now? What will happen, and how to help ourselves to go to Krishna's abode, or how not to come back to this material world again and again and do extra work and then come back. Instead of doing repeated work, how at one time we can focus on coming back to Krishna's eternal abode without any falling down. So we can see that Lord Brahma has created this universe under the chief architect Krishna's instruction. Basically, Brahma is a designer and he has designed the entire system. But sometimes we see that everything doesn't go whatever the designer has done. Now, basically, if we see, we are very, very fortunate that we have got association of Srila Prabhupada, that is books. And Chaitanya Charitamrita and Madhya Leela in 19.151, it says that Brahmanda Bhumite Kono Bhagyavan Jiva Guru Krishna Prasada Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. This Bhakti Lata Beej is very, very wonderful. Basically, according to our karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to the upper planetary system, and some are going down into the lower planetary system. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with the bona fide spiritual master, by the grace of Krishna, by the mercy of both Krishna and spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of creeper of devotional service. They say that with Guru's mercy you get Krishna, and with Krishna's mercy we get Guru. Both Guru and Krishna are important in our spiritual life, and with both of them are blessings and association, we will get the proper Bhakti Lata Bij. And with the proper Bhakti Lata Bij, we can attain Krishna's lotus feet. Then again, what should be our role? We should not go to Krishna Sabad alone. We should go also with our association, with our friends and near and dear. We should, because when we are going to Krishna Sabad, we should also think that as a well-wisher of our near and dears. So for that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again is saying, "Kyare dekho tare kaho Krishna upodesh, amaro agya guru hana tara ei des." Basically, he is saying, instead everyone to follow the orders of Lord Krishna as they are given in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. In this way, become a spiritual master and try to liberate everyone in this land. So basically, here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is requesting everybody that we should do preaching. And what we should preach? We should always tell about Krishna's glories all around. We should always tell about Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita to whomever we see. We should try to explain them. And by doing that, what will happen? That the conditioned soul will get a chance to liberate from this land itself. Instead of going through this 14 planetary system and coming here and there repeatedly, from this land, at the first attempt, he can attain Krishna's lotus feet. So with this, I would like to end today's discussion. If any reflection or anything, maybe we can discuss now in next 5-10 minutes. So Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you so much.
If nobody has a questions or anything, maybe we can do Damodar. Hare Krishna. Hari Bol.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, if nobody has any question, can we do Damodar?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can do Damodar.
Hare Krishna. Sorry, actually, yeah, please start the Damodar Ashtaka.
Yeah, if nobody has any questions or anything, then we can start Damodar. Yeah, good. Who wants to sing today?
I can sing it.
Punit Prabhu, you wanted to lead?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji. Can I sing it? Can you
Yeah,
hear me?
sure. Can you share the Damodar on the screen?
Let me try.
Or maybe Prem or Radhika Mataji, can you share anything or no? Damodar.
Actually, I'm
Yes,
not on
Prabhuji,
my
I'll
phone.
share.
Okay. Very nice. Thank you.
Jai Jai Shri Radha Damodar Bhagavan ki jai.
Jai.
Namamishwaram Sachidanandarupam Lasat Kundalam Gokule Brajamanam
नमामीश्वरं सच्चिदानन्दरूपं लसत्कुण्डलं गोकुले व्रजमानम्
यशोदाभियोलुकालाधवमानम् परमस्तम् अत्यन्तो धृत्या गोप्या
यशोदाभियोलुखदाधवमानम् परामृष्टमत्यन्त गोप्या
रुदन्तमुहुर्निद्रां जन्तम् करं भोजायुग्मेन शतङ्कनेत्रम्
रुदन्दं मुहुर्नेत्र युग्मं मृचन्दम् कराम्भोजयुग्मेन सागङ्गनेत्रम्
मुहुश्वासकम्पात्रिरेककान्ता सीताग्रवं दामोदरं भक्तिबाधम्
मुहुश्वासकम्बात्रिरेकङ्गकण्डा सिदग्रैवं दामोदरं भक्तिबद्धम्
इति दिक्ष्वालीलाभिरानन्दकुन्दे स्वघोषं निमज्जन्तम् अकियापयन्तम्
इति दृक्सलीलाभिर्वानन्दकुण्डे सुघोषं निमज्जन्तम् अख्यापयन्तम्
तदीये शीतज्ञेषु भक्ते चितात्वम् पुनः प्रेमातः सतं शतवृत्ति वन्दे
तदीयेष्टिदास्नेषु भक्तिर्जितत्वम् पुनः प्रेमतस्तं सदा वृत्तिवन्दे
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षं वलिं वा न चान्यं वर्णेऽहं वरे सदप्रिया
वरं देवमोक्षं न मोक्षावधिं वा न जान्यं वृणेऽहं वरे सदपीहा
इदं ते वापुर्नाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मानसि अविरस्तं किम् अन्ये
इदं देवपुरनाथ गोपालबालम् सदा मे मनस्याविराष्ट्रं किमन्ये
इदं ते मुखं भोजम् अत्यन्तनीले मृतं कुन्ताले स्निग्धा रक्ते च गोप्या
इदं ते मुखाम्बोजम् अत्यन्तनीले मृदं कुण्डलैः स्निग्धरक्तश्च गोप्या
मुहुचुम्बितं बिम्बरक्ताधरं मे मानसी अविरस्तम् अलं लक्ष्ये लाभे
मुहुश्चुम्बितं बिम्बारक्ताधरं मे मनस्याविराष्ट्रम् आलं लक्षलाभे
नमो देव दामोदरन्त विष्णु प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलग्विमग्नम्
नमो देव दामोदरनन्द विष्णो प्रसीद प्रभो दुःखजलाब्धिमग्नम्
कृपादृष्टिविषयादिदिनं बतानु गणेशमम् अर्जुनम् अक्षिदृश्या
कृपादृष्टिवृष्यादिदिनं ददानो गृहाणेश मामस्त्वम् एदृश्या
सुवरेत् मजाउ बाधामुद्येत् मयाद्वत् त्वया मुचिताउ भक्ति भजौ कृतौ च
कुबेरात्मजौ बद्धमुखैव यद्वा त्वया मोचितौ भक्ति भजौ हृदौ च
तथा प्रेम भक्तिं स्वकं मे प्रयाचा न मोक्षे ग्रामेऽस्ति दामोदरेया
तदा प्रेम भक्तिं सुखमे प्रयाच न मोक्षे गृहो मेष्टि दामोदरेह
नमस्ते दाम्ने शूरदीप्तिदाम्ने त्वदीयो रस्य विश्वासदाम्ने
नमस्तेऽस्तु धाम्ने स्फुरदीप्तिदाम्ने तधियो धरायाध विश्वस्य धाम्ने
नमो राधिकाय त्वदीया प्रियाय नमो नन्तालिलया दिव्या तुभ्यम्
नमो राधिकाय प्रियाय नमो नन्दलीलाय देवाय तुभ्यम्
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे
जय
हरे
राम
राम राम राम हरे हरे
जय राधा दामोदर राधे
जय राधा दामोदर राधे
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे
जय राधा श्याम सुंदर राधे
जय राधा माधव राधे
जय राधा माधव राधे
जय जय प्रभुपाद जय प्रभुपाद
जय जय प्रभुपाद जय जय प्रभुपाद
जय राधा दामोदर भगवान
Jai.
So the Supreme Lord whose form is embodiment of eternal existence, knowledge and bliss, whose shark-shaped earrings are swinging, who is beautifully shining in the divine rim of Gokula, who I do to the offense of breaking the pot of yogurt that his mother was churning into the butter and then stealing the butter that was kept hanging from a swing, is quickly running from the wooden grinding mortar in a fear of Mother Yasoda, but who has been caught from behind by her, who run after him with the greatest speed to that Supreme Lord Siddhamodar, I offer my humble obeisances.
Second one.
seeing the whipping stick in his mother's hand. He is crying and rubbing his eyes again and again and his two lotus hands his eyes are filled with fear, and the necklace of pearls around his neck, which is marked with three lines like a conch shell, is shaking because of his quick breathing due to crying. To this Supreme Lord Sri Damodara, whose belly is bound not with ropes but with his mother's pure love, I offer my humble obeisances.
Please go ahead, devotees.
By some childhood pastimes, is this he is drowning the inhabitants of Gokula in pools of ecstasy and is revealing to those devotees who are absorbed in knowledge of his supreme majesty and opulence that he is only conquered by devotees whose pure love is imbued with intimacy and is free from all conceptions of awe and reverence. With great love, I again offer my obeisances to Lord Damodar hundreds and hundreds of times.
O Lord, Although you are able to give all kinds of benedictions, I do not pray to you for the boon of impersonal liberation, nor the highest liberation of eternal life in Vaikuntha, nor any other boon which may be obtained by executing the 9 processes of bhakti. O Lord, I simply wish that this form of yours as Balagopala in Vrindavana may ever be manifest in my heart. For what is the use to me of any other boon besides this?
O Lord, your lotus face, which is encircled by locks of soft black hair tinged with red, is kissed again and again by Mother Yashoda, and your lips are reddish like the bimba fruit. May this beautiful vision of your lotus face be ever manifest in my heart. Thousands and thousands of other benedictions are of no use to me. Hare Krishna.
O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you. O Damodar, O Anant, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Lord Dhamma, just as the 2 sons of Kuvera, Manigriva and Nal Kuvera were delivered curse of Nanda and made into great devotees by you in your form as the baby tied with rope to a wooden grinding mortar, in the same way, please give to me your own Prema Bhakti. I only long for this and have no desire for any kind of liberation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
O Lord Damodar, I first of all offer my obeisances to the brilliantly effulgent rope which binds your belly. I then offer my obeisances to your belly, which is the hood of the entire universe. I humbly bow down to your most beloved Srimati Radharani, and I offer my all obeisances to you, the Supreme Lord who displays unlimited pastimes. Hare Krishna. Shri
Hare
Radha Damodar ki jai.
Jai. Anybody would like to read any other verses? Those who are not read it. Okay, I'll read. O Supreme Godhead, I offer my obeisances unto you, O Damodara, O Ananda, O Vishnu, O Master, O my Lord, be pleased upon me. By showering your glance of mercy upon me, deliver this poor ignorant fool who is immersed in an ocean of worldly sorrows and become visible to my eyes. Shri Radha Damodar Ji ki.
Damodar ki jai.
Thank you so much, dear devotees, for joining today. And we would humbly request we will also have the book Sankirtan meeting. So please stay, devotees, so that we can discuss our marathon Gita Jayanti book distribution. So thank you so much. So let's pay our obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. Vancha kalpatarupasya kripa sindhu bhevacha patidanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Vaishnavanda ki jai. Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananda Gaur Vaishnavanda ki jai.
Yeah.